Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Peter Phelps of Phelps 3D, and I've been using the longer orange 10 3D printer for a while now. And Chitubox, I've had about 3 weeks of working with them. Now, this video is about Chitubox being really odd. Um, Most of the time, what's happening is your dialog boxes are showing up behind the application. So one of the workarounds a lot of people online talk about is taking the file, right-clicking, going open with, I go choose other app, and then I say Chitubox and say OK. Now that's fine if all you want to do is have the one part you're using. It'll load it, and you can make duplicates, etc. But one of the workarounds I found is that you can actually use the open file. Just click it, and what I do then is I get Control-Alt-Delete on my Windows system. I then say cancel, and then I have the dialog box pops back up, so I can now stick something in there. So you can just keep doing that. Control-Alt-Delete, cancel, and open. That way you can have multiple parts on your platform, and it makes it a little easier. My Chitubox came with settings that were set up for the longer orange, and I have like the original profile here. In the print section I have only 10 seconds of exposure time and a really thick layer line, layer height. That's for just this. I've set up a couple others. You can have it set, because the way it was set up originally for the longer orange, it had all these different ones. I have a different setting for the rapid 0.1 at 15 seconds exposure time. This is for my black longer resin. But basically you can just create more or just change the existing ones to fit whatever amount of time you need. The biggest two numbers you gotta worry about is your bottom exposure time and your per layer exposure time. I was trying to get monoprices black to work, and I was having a whole lot of problems with it. So I tried to do like a little experiment to see what was going on, and I came up with needing to expose it for like 40 seconds, which is quite a long time. So I went with back to the longer brand on that one. But I'm going to go back over here to just the profile one, the original. Leave it that way, and close this. Now, most of them say to print everything at an angle on your Resin 3D printer. So, like this one here, I'm going to rotate it. And now it depends on where you want the supports to show up. And this thing is sort of screwy. But you want it at sort of angle. Move that over here. Same thing there. I'm going to put it on his back. Oops. You can right click allows you to move and drag around the bed. Left click will move objects, and you can move the bed around a little bit. but to rotate it I use left click. Alright, and then some people say don't use the automated supports. Since I'm pretty new and don't know exactly what I'm doing, I go ahead and do this. I've got it set up to use the heavy supports, because basically I find if I just set it to light, the object, the peel force causes the object to pop off the supports sometimes. So I've set it up to be just heavy. I'll go all. This is gonna have a ton of supports under it. Click this one, all. Click this one, all. The one thing about it, about using these DLP, SLA type printers is the thing that really affects the time is the height of the objects. You can put as many objects as you can fit on the bed, and whatever is the highest object is going to determine how long the entire print takes. Like this gun here, these are transformer parts. This gun here is from the classics Seekers. These two pieces here are for needle noses, G1 needle noses, one of his Target Masters. So the highest thing, because it's the most layers, will end up being the thing that determines the amount of time it takes. So you can click, I switched back to the original one. So this one's for all the supports and the raft. I have the raft set up to on all the time. As you switch back, then you can click slice. And it will show you how long it's going to take, how much volume it has, how much weight. I have just the regular resin, my exposure time and all that. And if you want, you can sit here and go, and you can see the light patterns that it's going to create when it does it for the exposures per layer. Since that all it is a UV light going through a LCD panel, and that's pretty much it. Now, again here, this is an area where people were getting confused. You can click save, and it doesn't show you anything. It doesn't show you that dialog. But if you just push enter, it will go ahead and write the file to your where you started, and it's using the very first file I opened as the name for the file. It just creates an underscore and uses the file name from your original model. And so here it says down here, write successful, open the folder. You can do that by clicking it, but see again how it doesn't show anything. Control Alt Delete, cancel. Well, maybe not. But you can see here that it was wrote up here in that folder. So that is pretty much all I have to say. This is just, hopefully it helps some people. One of the things you can do, if, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and close this, say okay. Like I have this wings one here, and this Is that the LGS or is that the, that's the LGS. Let's see, that says right wing, so I'll do a left wing for right now. Where is it? Open with. So one of the other tricks you can do, say, okay, so this is say a left wing and the other part is the right wing, but you don't want to sit here, you know both files are already exactly the same. You don't want to sit here and just add in the other one like I was showing you there. You can take an object, you can then clone the current model. Then what I can do is I can take this on and I can mirror it. Say the X. And this way you have now your left and right versions of the model. Create your supports. Move them around. Now, sometimes this may not be a good way. I might need to angle it more. Because right now, you have one huge section right across here that's going to end up sticking probably to the vat film, FEP film. So you want to make sure that the cross section is the smallest it can be so that it doesn't stick to the FEP. So what I'll do, delete, I can click and just hit delete to get rid of one. I can go back over here. I'm going to say remove all. Say OK. Go back over this way. Rotate. And then these wings are kind of hard because no matter what, you're going to have kind of a very thick section somewhere. So you want to try to make it so the amount that's sticking to it is the least. So this is sort of the widest section right here, but now it's smaller than it was before. So you have to play with it. I mean, someone would say 30 to 45 degree angle, but it really depends on the model. And I'll go back and redo that. And you don't have to mirror it before you put the supports. You can go ahead and put your supports in, go back, take this, say I want to clone it, then take this one, and say mirror on X. So you can go ahead and just, now sometimes what I'll do is I'll try to separate them out, so split enough on the bed that they're not going to make a really hard force. But sometimes you'll listen to it and you'll hear it moving up and down, and it will like pop slightly, which means then it's sticking probably too much to the FEP. Some people said they were using PTFE, like 3-in-1 PTFE lubricant on their beds to try to keep it from doing that. Vats, not the bed. You want it to stick to the bed. Do it to the vat, not the metal piece that moves up and down. That's your bed. Alright, and you can slice that. Again, I'll show you the light patterns. So the part I worry about is right here. That probably will work though, because the pieces are slim enough. Alright, and we can click save, but I'm not going to right now, because basically I already have a file that's only one of these, and I only need one to print. Just go close. I hope that helps some of you. Have a great day. Bye bye.